Okay, last few classes we started discussing about uh, introduction part of electrical vehicle. Then we moved to what are the different types. Then after that, what are the different architectures that we have used for electrical vehicle, especially hybrid electrical vehicle and plug-in hybrid electrical vehicle, and as well as mild hybrid electrical vehicle. And based on the architecture, these are all the based on the hybridization. Based on the architecture, what is a series hybrid electrical vehicle, what is a parallel hybrid electrical vehicle, what is series parallel, that is power split configuration of the electrical vehicle that we have seen. And yesterday we started discussing about the important energy storage system, that is we usually called as a ESSS. That is nothing but a battery back of any electrical vehicle. Okay, so today also we are going to continue. Okay, because uh, this is the important. This is the importance of electrical vehicle, because whatever may be the latest advancement that happened, whatever may be the latest advancement that happened, so that we can able to incorporate in electrical vehicle, that leads to the particular electrical vehicle concept is more feasible, that is more viable. So very easily we can able to switch over from internal combustion engine to others. So as a continuation, yesterday we have seen all the different types of battery, that is from the more than a century old, that is lead acid battery, to latest modern lithium ion batteries and lithium sulfur batteries. What is their energy density? What is the theoretical energy density, practical energy density? How much it is far away from the gasoline? So suppose if you converted the gasoline engine's energy density also in terms of watt hour per kilogram, or in terms of watt hour per liter. Okay, so volumetric. If we converted volumetric, so what is the difference? How much is the difference? We can able to see that gasolines having around 9,000 to 10,000 whatever per kilogram, whereas even a modern lithium ion battery, lithium sulfur is now almost reaching 1,000 watt hours. So still 10 times more we need, but that could be addressed so that the energy density is not a problem, because if you are capable of continuously charging, so there is a one feature is called using renewable energy sources. Unlike other internal combustion engine, we can able to keep on contributing to the depleting charges. So say for example, if I'm having a battery pack. Okay, so some two battery pack I'm having. So one battery pack maybe keep on supplying, discharging the energy. So when the vehicle is on move, whereas another one pack, which is almost depleted earlier, you can keep on charging also using a solar panel or other means, other renewable energy sources means we can able to charge the batteries also continuously. Once the using battery is coming to a depleting level, that is be a certain percentage of some less than 30 percentage, 20 percentage, we can able to very easily switch over from one battery pack to another battery pack, which is not at all possible in any other means. IC engine, we cannot keep on fill the fuel. Okay, so once we are going to this fuel station only, we can able to do. So there is a provision. There is a provision. Likewise, very heavy vehicle, that is especially electro locomotives. So trains, electric trains, electro locomotives and all. So it is a very huge amount of power is required. So by external source, we are having a overhead transmission line. So from the transmission line, it is always having a pentaphore is there, which is keep on collecting the energy from the overhead line, which is keep on used. So there is no need of any battery concepts also. Earlier also we have used in the British period, they have used. So in the name of tram car, still some of the developed countries that they are using. So, but now in India, in terms of very heavy electro locomotives are in forms of electric trains only. We are not at the used. Okay, so maybe when the bus transport, the concept of bus transport and also is coming. So the problem of having a battery pack inside the vehicle, if there means we can able to provide the energy supply through means of external means also. So only problem is properly we have to collect it without any interruption between other vehicles and all. So there are a lot of researches are also going on. So battery pack, as of now, a battery pack is the very important solution, only solution available. There, if you are used, identify a proper high power density and energy density battery, then we can able to go. I think last week also Tesla once again proved that with a single charging, it can able capable of reaching very high speed also. Very high speed, it can able to travel more than 500 kilometers also. So every year there is a considerable amount of development happening. So automatically that leads to the switch over from one form, that is internal combustion engine to electrical vehicle, very easily. So here, so because you are all from other specialization, maybe studied in the concept of battery, what is cell and other things, maybe some in the school level. So it is just recollecting only. So the very fundamental one is a mono cell. It is a basic cell, maybe having a very basic voltage level. Say for example, in the mono cell, there will be a one cathode, there will be a one anode, there will be a one separator. That separator is in between the cathode, that is a cathode and anode. So usually it's called as a electrolyte. Okay. So stack of such a mono cells. Say for example, 20 such a mono cells if we are keeping, that means we are calling it as a cell. Okay. So mono cells are connected in parallel. So because usually basic cell chemistry says that this type of cell is having very low voltage, 1.5 voltage, 2.3 voltage, like that only. So if you are connected them parallel only, I can able to considerably build, okay, more current capacity. Of course, the particular, if you are connected all the cells in parallel, there won't be any increase in voltage. If you are keep an added in series connection only, there will be increase in voltage. I think you can able to see. You can, I think I'll select a pointer option. So if suppose if you assume that this is a cell, so assume that this is a cell having considerable some up to some 20 stack of 20 mono cells. I am having a 3.7 voltages, means if I am connected number of cells or number of mono cells in parallel, the resultant voltage is 3.7 voltage only. So there won't be any increasing in voltage if we are connected in parallel. But whereas the ampere hour capacity, 2 ampere hour, each monocell is having suppose 2 ampere hour means, so I can able to get addition of these things. I can get 8 ampere hour, that means current rating. So what is this meaning? Ampere hour. So battery capacity, we are used to say the capacity is equal to ampere hour. Ampere hour. So each battery is having two different voltage. What is a charging voltage? What is a discharging voltage? Okay. Say for example, if I have to charge this battery, if it has to reach some full value, means I have to keep on giving a certain amount of current. Okay. So likewise, when it is discharging also, I should be able to recognize its capacity in terms of ampere hour. Say for example, in this example, if I am taking a discharging voltage is 3.7 voltage and 8 ampere hours means, so if I connect a load to this cell, which takes 8 amperes this battery, means 1 hour it will go. Suppose supply voltage is 3.7. If I'm connected to a load in such a way that it draws 8 ampere current, means 1 hour it can able to supply. Okay. Suppose assume that if there is a load which is 4 amps, means automatically what will happen? We can able to get double the time. So that means 3.7 voltage. If a load is only drawing 4 amps, means I can able to supply the load 2 hours. So this is called 1C. Usually we'll call it as a 1C. How much ampere hour means? This is called 1C. 1C. So if I'm going a fractional C, 0.5C, 0.5C means, that means I'm just having a half the rating of the current only. That is, I'm having a load which need only 4 amps. So likewise, I can able to multiply 2C, 2C. So if I connect a load which is 2C, the charging is 2 times more, means automatically what will happen? 3.7 voltage. If I'm having a load which is having a 16, which draws 16 amps, means only half an hour only this energy will come. So the way we have to understand the ampere hour is like that only. At discharging voltage, what is an ampere hour? If you can take it as a C value, I can able to go for 2C, 1C, and zero point 0.8C. So based on the method we are discharging the battery, the lifetime of the battery will be affected. Usually, what is suggested is we have to go for fractional rating of charging only. So I can go for zero point 0.8C, I can go for 0.4C. Automatically, that lead to the battery life more. Instead of if I'm going charging a battery, okay, this is the capacity of the battery is ampere hour. If I'm discharging the battery in the 2C rate, two times the charging, three times the charging, automatically the battery life will come down. Okay. So likewise, if you're connected all the mono cells in series, voltage can be built up. Say, for example, same thing 3.7 voltage, 3.74, 3.7 voltages are there. So, if you connected these mono cells in series automatically, it will be added. It will be added. So, resultant voltage is 14.8 voltage. But the capacity, ampere hour capacity will not be altering, it will be same. If this battery also 2 ampere hour, this is if you connected, voltage only will be added. If you are connected in parallel configuration, ampere hour capacity will be added. Okay, if you are connected in series, voltage capacity will be added. So if you are connected in parallel, ampere hour capacity will be added. So this is a basic concept you have to remember all this. So here from cell, so cell I think we already know what is a mono cell. It's a single basic cell. It is having a very low voltages. In order to have ampere hour, high ampere hour, we are connecting like this figure. That is where, for example, 20 such mono cells are connected. We call it as a single cell. Okay, single cell stack of 20 mono cells. From that, many cells in series connected. Now we are going for series connection. That will be called as a module. That will be called as a battery module. Okay, if several modules, okay, or many cells, okay, second, several modules and several cells are having connected series parallel together with, that will be called as a battery pack. Battery pack. Okay, if several battery packs are in parallel, say especially to give, because once we have decided the battery pack, what is advantage is we decide the voltage required also. So in the battery pack, we have decided the voltage. So after which we don't need improvement in voltage, we need only ampere hour rating more. So that means the how much energy. Suppose current only decides the energy, no, once they fixed the voltage. So after that, if you go for a battery system, so that is connected all in parallel. Several battery packs are connected in parallel. So if it is deciding the energy, how much battery packs are connected. Because this is, say for example, this is having a 400 voltage, 100 ampere hours. 100 ampere hours means if I'm having a 3 or 4 battery packs connected parallel means voltage will be remaining same. If I'm connected a 4 such a battery pack, my ampere hour capacity will be increased to 400 ampere hour, 400 voltage, 400. So this is what we are keeping finally in the any electric vehicle system, which need to be provided with the energy sources on board system. If you want to have, this is a battery pack system. So finally we are talking about this is only this is what we are calling it as a ESS, energy storage system. Energy storage system. So we are not calling this monocell and etc. So monocell is a fundamental word. So number of monocells that they are making a cell. So from that particular cells, if you are connected more cells in series, that is creating a module. From that module, we are creating a battery pack, which are connected in parallel series, parallel combination, by which a considerable amount of increasing voltage and ampere hour rating is achieved. From battery pack, when they go for battery system, they usually connected in parallel only because of the with a view of getting more energy from that. So this is totally in all hereafter all black diagrams, all the systems, wherever you see ESSS is nothing but it is not a single battery, or it is not a single cell, or it is not a single module, or it is not a single battery pack. Okay. So more battery packs. So you can able to see in the diagram. Here I am having in this battery pack, I am having three modules. So this is called one battery pack. This is called another one battery pack. This is another. So these are all connected in parallel. I have taken a supply. Okay, I can take a taken a supply outside. So this is the way we have to understand the battery connections. So uh, next one is very importantly, so the based on I told already charging, okay, at what rate we are charging, at what rate we are discharging, that is affecting the battery life. I already told, I already hinted, okay, in last slide. So this is how we can able to understand. If charging, if charging rate is increased, so if I'm having a 1 ampere hour, means I have to provide one voltage, okay, with the current of 1 amps for 1 hour. Then only it calls. Suppose if I'm having a C is equal to capacity is 1 ampere hour. Okay, means how much how we have to charge is at one voltage 1 ampere for 1 hour. That is called a C rate of the battery. Okay, if a charging and discharging voltage is given, at that voltage we have to charge like that. So if we are increasing the C rate, suppose if I'm giving a 2 amps, if I'm giving a 3 amps, automatically it will increase. Definitely it will increase. Definitely we can reduce the charging time, but it will lead to the battery life, decreasing in battery life. So there is a need of identification. Likewise, when you are discharging the battery, depth of discharge, we will call this term is DOD, depth of discharge, and how much is the charge level, that is called as a SOC, state of charge. These two important terminology, because you are not belongs to the electrical engineering students, you should be able to remember. Okay, so whenever these two terminology, very often we are going to discuss in the further classes. That is, what is SOC, what is DOD. SOC is nothing but state of charge. This is equal to fuel tank level, how much filled fuel tank is filled in conventional internal combustion engine. How much the fuel is available? We are saying no, half of the tank is full, full tank 80% full. The same way, we are able to say state of charge. That is describes how full the battery is. Likewise, the depth of discharge, how much stored energy is used in at each cycle. So a cycle is called battery charging, battery discharging. Okay, battery charging, battery discharging. Once again, battery charging, discharging. That is a cycle. That is a cycle. So if a depth of discharge, that describes how much of stored energy is used at each cycle. It doesn't mean that we have to always use 100% depth of discharge. 100% depth of discharge. Okay, what will happen? So if the depth of discharge also it keep on increasing, that also lead to a battery life down. That also will lead to a battery lifetime. In a practical example, I can say that, so very often we are all facing a problem of laptop charging, laptop or mobile charging. We are complaining that my laptop, okay, charge is not properly there. So I after full charge, if I start using, so it is keep on reducing. Earlier it used to come up to 2 hours, 3 hours. Now it is only coming for 15. So this is the reason we are allowing complete depth of discharge. We are allowing the stored energy to be completed in each cycle. That means we are increasing the depth of discharge. That is why battery cycle life is come down. So we have to maintain a balance. So that is why, so for laptop and mobile phones, it is advised to charge. Okay, charge, put it in a charge when it is reaching the 30 percentage of the charge level. So if your battery is showing 30%, you can very well put charge. Exactly at 100%, you have to disconnect it. You should not overcharge also. If you are maintaining like that, by that we are maintaining, balancing the C rate and the discharge. I am not allowing the complete energies to be discharged. I am not allowing the complete C rate also. So by that, I can able to balance. By that, a battery cycle life can be extended. So what we are normally we are practically doing, we are allowing up to even come down warning level 10 percentage or 5 percentage. So it is giving at the time only we are charging. Initially, it may be able to give the okay, but if you see that the cycle, battery cycle life, suppose the battery cycle life is assured if you are properly having a C rate and DOD for about 2 years. So because of our practice of handling the battery is different because we allowed charging when it is given morning only. Likewise, we are overcharging, keep on putting in charging. So that lead to the battery life come down. Okay, so when we are talking about electrical vehicles, that we have to very much care about. So that's what we have shown in the right side two graphs. Suppose if I'm assuming this is a charging voltage, I am making a charging voltage is 4.2 voltage. I am discharging the battery at 3 voltages at temperature 23 degrees Celsius because temperature also plays a very important role for charging and discharging. Normally, for Asian countries, there won't be any problem. So it should be sufficiently some 15 degrees Celsius to some 20 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius. If it is operating, we can able to get a assured performance of battery. If temperature falls very low, also a problem. Battery will be very quickly charging and discharging. If temperature is more, also problem. So the operating range of temperature is very much important. That is only will it lead to the cooling arrangement of this type of ESS also. Suppose in our country, so automatically when the vehicle running, so maybe some heat may be generated. It will not be as much as in case of internal combustion engine. That has to be taken away. Okay. So likewise, some Western countries very cold temperature. It may go to minus and etc. Okay. So minus, so less than 0 degrees Celsius. So at that time, so we have to give some warm arrangement. Okay, then only a battery can perform. Okay, it is assured performance. Otherwise, there will be deviation. So here, this graph is drawn for number of cycles and discharge capacity taken for the milliampere hour. Milliampere hour. Suppose if I'm charging and discharging in the same rate. So as I told you earlier, previous example. Suppose if I'm using charging and discharging at 1C range, I can able to get number of cycles of batteries more than 500. So what is assured? If I'm charging the battery with more C, 2C range and discharging also 2C. 2C is nothing but suppose if I'm using a 1 ampere hour battery, I'm using 2 amperes at charging voltage. That's why we can able to reduce the charging time. Discharging also, I'm taking a 2 amperes, okay, which make within half an hour it's fully discharged means. So that will lead to a so reducing the battery life. If I'm using a 3C charge and 3C discharge means you see drastically, very drastically it is coming down. Earlier it was more than, if you see that graph, it may be going, okay, maybe 700, 800, maybe around 600. Now, so this is deciding, this is deciding the number of cycles can be, battery can be used effectively. This is for charging. Likewise, whenever we are talking about the depth of discharge, here charging and discharging, here depth of the discharge is whether we are using full energy, 100% energy. After that only we are putting in charging and discharging means if you are used the battery with a 100% discharge, that is similar to this one. State of charge is 0% and we are using 100% means the life cycle life will be coming down very drastically coming down. Maybe around 4,000 only. Whereas if you are 50 percentage, okay, after 50 percentage or 35 percentage, if you keep on doing that means that will give more cycle. That will give more life cycle. So that is a way we have to understand the effect of charging rate and the depth of discharge. So these two terminology. So hereafter in all the classes, I used to simply say SOC, SOC more SOC, it reached SOC. So that DOD is we are assuming 40%, 50% means. So you should be able to remember its definition. What is depth of discharge? That means at each cycle, how much energy stored we are allowing, okay, to discharge. Okay, that is called depth of discharge. This is equal to the similar to that of analogous to that of fuel tank. How much is the charging length available? Okay, and of course you are all as already told because the main purpose of introducing the introduction to electrical vehicle to other departments is So automatically it is a interdisciplinary one. So it is not belongs to either electrical or mechanical or automobile engineer. It is as far as electrical vehicle is concerned, it is completely interdisciplinary one. So one may be very good, maybe architecture, one may be very good in finding alternate fuel, one may be very good in hybridization. So the percentage, so you can incorporate your own ideas and etc. You can able to develop, so you can able to contribute. As I told you earlier, so even though the electrical vehicles are start coming in the market, okay, so mushrooming, okay, start more number, still we can't able to get a affordable price. Okay, vehicle we can't able to manufacture the vehicle with affordable price by the ordinary people. So a lot of researchers need. So especially because we discussed about the battery. So this is a very important one. I want to highlight because you are on final year. So innovation in the lithium battery technologies need lithium based battery. So whether it is lithium sulfur, lithium air. So what is the research going on? Whether we can able to contribute or whether we can able to find some idea. So especially nanotechnology. Okay, nanotechnology to improve the performance. So that is still under research. So if we can able to contribute, we can do that. So new battery technology, any other alternate means by which we can able to avoid. Okay, we can able to, because cost is more. Very important drawback of lithium ion battery. If you want to have a very good amount of power density and energy density, cost is very high. So ESS is the very costliest part of any electrical vehicle, energy storage system. So likewise, this is where you can contribute immediately after getting, maybe if you are interested, you can contribute more because you are all mechanical engineer, naval architecture people are there. So all of you can able to contribute innovation using hybrid technology. Okay, so existing battery. Now we are talking about hybrid of internal combustion engine as well as battery operated motor. Okay. Now we can talk about a furthermore, that is a hybrid is nothing but using two or more energy sources of different energy, two or more, okay, energy sources. So whether it is possible to use hybrid of different battery, lithium based lead acid hybrid, lithium based supercapacitor hybrid, lead acid supercapacitor hybrid. So based on the need, power requirement, whether we can able to do any hybridization using innovative hybrid technology, that is nothing but in both the cases we are using different batteries, different energy sources, okay, different batteries which we are using, so whether we can able to get the desired performance of vehicles. So these are all things I want to highlight. So of course we'll come to, so very importantly, the electrical vehicles are low maintenance. So no gasoline, so of course, EV vehicle will not have, but no oil changes, because if you see that when I discuss that more than 20,000 moving parts are there, but because as far as motor is concerned, that is the only rotating machine, okay, which can be coupled to a shaft, which is producing a tractive force or the propulsion force, so which is having only less than 20 moving parts. No any oil changes, no filters, no engine tune-ups, no smoke check. Okay, so only a very few moving parts, as I told, that too a breakable very less. If you are taking a very robust construction of induction machine and all, it is capable of operating even very rough and tough environments. Okay, so because it is having less moving parts, so if you are properly insulation and all made, and also of course we are having a yoke arrangement which is covering and protecting the windings and all other parts that is associated with that. So obviously, so it is having a very good life period. It's not like engine. We need to tune up, we need to filter, oil change, nothing. So very low maintenance. And apart from that, all the batteries that we are used, okay, so guaranteed for 8 years, okay, guaranteed for 8 years. But one study shows that it is can up to go for some 15 to 17 years if you are properly maintained. Guarantee they are giving, and do not go to landfill. So automatically we can able to go for recycling. Once the battery is completely closed, okay, all the electrolytes Okay, complete discharge, charging and discharging very quickly occurs, then definitely we have to replace the plates because we know that batteries are having more number of monocells. Okay, positive electrode, negative electrode, and alkaline that need to be changed. So, but we need not to completely dispose it. Okay, there is a possibility of recycling the things and we can use it for some other purpose, especially so once we have used the electrical vehicle batteries, maybe after 15 years it's over, we can repurpose for wind and solar electricity storage. Okay, a slight concentrating of electrolytes and a slight modification that done with electrodes and all, we can able to use it for very small amount of energy can be stored which can be tapped from wind and solar. So and other and especially these are all mad. Especially I told you can go to YouTube and see PFW i3 Rex. The majority of the parts of the particular vehicle, okay, they are all made up of recycled materials. If possible, I will show the video also. It's a very good sign. So majority, not only some battery related accessories, the majority of the parts of the vehicle also is made with recycled materials. And lithium ion batteries are made with available metals. So once the life period is over, we can able to get it back. We can have get it back the material, okay, and for reusing purpose and all. Okay, so I would like to have you all should have one. Any clarification? We'll complete first part. Any clarification?
No, sir, please, sir.
Huh? Okay. You can have one quiz. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll copy this one. I will put it in my chat box. Okay, you all try this quiz. Okay. I think 18 people are there, all the 18 people, because the report will be generated. It is like a quiz. So far, we are all, we know what is fundamental, okay, what is electrical vehicle and etc. We are having a fundamental of that, okay. You just copy and put it in your browser. All of you. So I am put a one link which taken to your quiz, okay, online quiz. So just what all the portions we have covered in that, you can able to see, very interesting. So very quickly you have to do. So I have set time for answering each question 10 seconds only. Maybe some 4, maximum 4 options only will be the choices only will be there. From that you have to select. Okay. So have you all done? Ready? No response. Because I think you are all know we are all university students. So apart from that summative assessment, we should do formative assessments also. So that is done and there some active learning methods also should be there. So it is also taken to the account of your internal marks and etc. So you should be actively involved. Have you all done this? Ready? You have to copy. I have pasted a link. Ready? Yeah?
Sir, first one we done.
Huh?
First one we done, sir. Which one range extended electric vehicle?
First one you're done now. Okay. Wait. Is it asked any password?
No, sir, nothing is asked.
It went to there. Huh?
Yes, sir, directly it's there.
Okay. Right. So what is the correct answer? It's showing three people. Three people out of four, three, seven, 9 people attended. BMW i3 Rex is the range extended electric vehicle. We already told that. So now fourth one. Okay, so I already told that. So when the pure electrical vehicle is classified, additionally one BMW i3 Rex car is coming. That is with a range extended. That means after certain kilometers it travel. So maybe still some more from 40, some 30 kilometers we have to travel means we can able to charge the battery. Okay, whenever it is depleting, we can able to charge the battery using a internal combustion engine, a small engine, okay, with a fractional power, with a less cylindrical space and all, which can be able to provide required amount of electricity because it is coupled to a generator. In turn, generator will be charged. Okay, that is called a range extended vehicle. Okay, okay. We can have another questions also. Okay. So next question, charging time of battery from 80 percentage to 100 percentage is, you have to select. So now running time 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. So only 2% they are given right answer. That is equal to charging time for 10 percentage to 80 percentage. Next question. Select the top performing battery. You have to select the top performing battery, whether lead acid, nickel cadmium, lithium ion, or nickel metal hydride. Only 4 seconds more. 2, 1. Lithium ion. Majority of the students given a right answer. 6 students, but one student given lead acid and one student is given nickel metal hydride. That's not correct. Lithium ion. $98 miles per gallon. Gallon. Any idea? Mechanical students, I'm expecting offshore engineering, naval architecture, I'm expecting the answer. What is the meaning of 98 miles per gallon? That is nothing but it is 41.2 kilometer per liter. So 1 gallon is nothing but 159 liter. 1 gallon. Okay. So if 98 miles, 1 miles is equal to 1.6 kilometer. So that you have to take into account. So if you see that, that is equal to 41.2 kilometer per liter is the correct answer. So 98 miles, we have to convert it to 98 into 1.6. So we can get, this type of sort of information from mechanical engineer, offshore engineering, even other department, I need expected answer. Okay, so no one given correct answer. So these are all your scores. Okay, so Vasanta Kumar with how quickly he responded. Okay, so congratulations, Vasanta Kumar. 1,552 points you got. Okay, so remember next is 869 and etc. Okay, we'll resume back to the subject. So these are all the things I want to additionally want to add. And already we have discussed about that. You should know. So what is a so already we start discussing about the levelized cost of energy. Levelized cost of energy is nothing but so previously, so how much cost? Okay, especially we used to one second, I'll take slide correctly. So how much cost per megawatt hour? So you know that 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 unit. So automatically megawatt hour is nothing but 1,000 unit. So here we have to understand the megawatt hour. What is megawatt hour? 1 kilowatt hour is already we know that it is 1 unit, 1 kilowatt hour. Megawatt hour means 1,000 unit. So how much dollars? Usually we call this in terms of dollar per 1,000 unit. Earlier it was. So we have taken for levelized cost of energy calculation, taken 2012 and 2017, 5 years difference. If you see all other form of energy, only a small reduction. But whereas in solar and wind, it is almost comes some 60% cut down. So compared to the 2012, it was $100 per 1,000 unit means now it is reached around $38. Okay, per 1,000 unit. Wind also drastically reduced. Okay, wind also drastically reduced. Likewise, when the wind, if you have taken wind alone, levelized cost of energy, considering the 2009 to 2016, see earlier it was $169 per 1,000 units. So you know the dollar, $1 is equal to approximately if you can put 70 rupees. Every day it is changing. Okay, 65 to 70 rupees if you're putting means now from in 2016 itself, it is $62 only per 1,000 units. Now it may be reached 57 or 55. Okay, that is the thing. So drastically it is come down 66% compared to 2009, 2016. The cost of energy is reduced 66%, especially wind alone. So because of the reason, you know that wind energy, see in India alone, we have identified 1 lakh megawatt hour capacity, but whereas we have exploited, we have just utilizing only 35 to 40% only, especially in Tamil Nadu, southern region, Kaval Kinnaru, near Tirunelveli, and likewise in Gujarat, Kutch regions, and so many. So nowadays, even Andhra Pradesh, they identify. But estimated potential is 1 lakh megawatt. Our installed capacity is 3.5 lakh megawatt. So approximately one third of the potential existing installation capacity we can able to tap from the renewable energy sources only. Only thing is, it is a time seasonal one, maybe in a year, varying from 6 to 9 months only may be available. So remaining period will be ideal. Very peak period is we can say that 2 to 4 months we can able to take. And apart from this naturally available resources, because of the technological advancement, so that is hub height. They will usually called as hub height. You can able to see here hub height. That is very highly earlier 1980 to 99 hub height is maximum of 18 meter only. Now we are able to have, okay, hub height is up to 82 meter. Okay, so maybe in the 2030 the year we can able to get 115 meter. Okay, so in Washington monument. Okay, so for the soldiers they are having, that is height is 169 meter. You can able to see, because if you want to visualize from your internet means you can able to see Washington monument pictures. If you put the read is 169, but even our own power tapping, that is windmills, can able to get, we can get 115 meter. Likewise, the swept areas, how much is the area in which we are power collecting, that also we are keep on increasing because of the rotor diameter. So rotor diameter earlier it was 17 meter, now we can able to get 135 meter because this all advancement happening because of the fraction mechanism of composite material. So composite materials. So mainly the contribution with the mechanical engineer. They have developed the composite material because we know that this is not all made up of a single materials. All the wings and etc. All the towers and etc. Because that should be a very lightweight at the same time capable of withstanding very high wind velocity also. So it is a contribution. It is a achievement of a composite material, especially mechanical. So in addition to that, they should be able to calculate the fracture, implement the fracture mechanism also. Because if you want to withstand with the very high wind velocity, that is why, whereas it is very from 0.1 megawatt to now we can able to get even now 2020 Suzlon manufacturing a single unit which is capable of producing even 5 megawatt. Even though the projected is 3.25 megawatt, now Suzlon is manufacturing a single unit, okay, with a height of 120 meter hub height. We can able to get 5 megawatt single unit itself it can have. So these are all the advantages. Why we are taking into the consideration means these are all the important thing, because when CO2 emission, when we are talking about switch over to electrical vehicle technology, so definitely the question of CO2 emission is coming to picture. So if you are using still fossil fuels or increasing the fossil fuel consumption, that lead to additional one. Even though compared to the internal combustion engine, there's a considerable amount of saving of preventing of CO2 emission. Okay, if you are used this type of energies, okay, more, especially for the infrastructure that we are developing for charging through the renewable energy sources, that it can lead to a very important thing. So this is a cumulative global offshore, onshore and offshore wind turbine installs. So earlier in terms of gigawatt, in 2005 it was only 54 gigawatt, but whereas in 2016 it reached 439. So almost 10 times going to be more, 10 near to 10 times. Okay. So likewise, solar, the huge advancement is happening. Earlier in the 2009, per 1,000 unit, we have to spend $323, multiplied by 670 rupees you put. Okay, for 1,000 units. Now it is almost reaching $49, $49 per 1,000 units. That is nothing but almost you can get rupees 3.5 per unit. So very drastically coming down because of the technological advancement happened. This is a very important reason why. So earlier solar panel efficiency until 2016, Okay, Fraunhofer. Okay, Fraunhofer. They come out with the panel. It was maximum efficiency is only 29.8 percentage only. In the year 2018, Fraunhofer they have introduced a panel which is having a 46 percentage. Earlier, it was 14 percentage only. Very long time. Okay, reached 18, 20, but huge research, so many composite materials and other things they have introduced. Because of the advancement, now we can able to get a solar panel which is having a efficiency of 46%. So what is the meaning is I can reduce the area. Earlier, if I were to use a thousand meter square for 1 kilowatt, producing 1 kilowatt hour capacity. That means it can produce 6 to 7 units per day. Means now from that I can able to reduce so around 30 percentage. So with 30 percentage I can eliminate with a 700 meter square area itself I can able to get because of the efficiency is improved one. Efficiency is improved one in 2000. So these are all the advancement also we have to take into consideration. So when we are talking about when what are all the challenges when we are switching to electrical vehicle technology means especially this continuation of fossil fuel for producing electricity and increasing in that. So the increasing in that amount can be contributed, can be uh, avoided by means of introducing a renewable energy sources because the levelized cost of renewable energy sources is drastically reduced. How it is reduced? Because of the advancement, okay, technological advancement that happening, especially last 1 decade. So huge amount of 66 to 70 percentage of energy cost is reduced, drastically reduced. So we can able to get energy very cheaper. So that's what a very first slide I have shown. If you see coal, nuclear, okay, very compared to 5 years, because of the technological advancement and all, okay, minimize the losses and all, very, very less only I can able to save, improve. Okay, cost of energy is reduced. But whereas if you see solar and as well as wind, almost 66 percentage is saving. Now the 30 percentage cost only we can able to produce. So this is a place where I want to stop. Any clarification is there? You can ask. Otherwise, we'll proceed to next topic. Any clarification?
No, sir, no, sir. Clear.
Okay. Okay. Next, we are moving to a concept called vehicle mechanism. So everything now we are clear. So now we are having a clear mindset. So what is electrical vehicle? What are the different configuration? What is the advantage of electrical vehicle? What is the advantage of hybrid electrical vehicles? So what about the energy that can be used? Okay, so for producing electricity, how battery pack or ESS, energy storage systems, plays a very important role in electrical vehicle. So what are all the batteries that we started using? What is the difference between the energy density of these batteries? Everything we can able to understand. Now, the next part, if you want to go for a manufacturing electrical vehicle, we should know, if you want to really understand the basic concept of electrical vehicle, we should know the concept of vehicle mechanism. How vehicle is running, moving. Okay, it is not only going to be a vehicle is going to be operating in the plains only. It has to move in the hills. Okay, upward, uphill, downhill. Okay, ups and downs will be there. Turnings will be there. Okay, so more curves it has to go. So existing IC engine, it is all satisfying these things. So if you want to adapt to the electrical vehicle technology, is there any other things that we need to address? So because vehicle mechanism it is not a new one, already developed one, already using that only. They are all manufacturing the cars, sophisticated cars and etc. So now, if you want to understand that, if you okay, what may be the modification that has to be done with the aspect of with the view of electrical vehicle. So we should know and or we should recollect. Okay, those who are mechanical engineering students may be studied already. For other engineering students, it may be the new concept. So we should start learning the vehicle mechanism also. So before getting to that, we have to start that particular with Newton's law. What are the Newton's laws of motion? So what is Newton's giving a very important three laws for the motion. The very first law is every object in a state of uniform motion tends to remain in the state of motion unless external force is applied to that. Okay, so this is very much applicable when we are using electrical vehicle concept, because electrical vehicle concept has already told that there is a one concept called braking. When you are using, because already you are familiar with electrical vehicle. So when you are using electrical vehicle, if I am applying a braking, in turn, that will not directly force the tires to stop. That in turn, it will only reduce the power that is getting from the battery to the motor. But due to this law, what will happen? So automatically motor will be tends to remain in the same. So there is an external force should be applied. So how we can able to apply the force? I can do by means of mechanical. If I am doing the by means of mechanical, what will happen? Enormous amount of heat will be produced, motor will be stopping. Instead, I am going to use in electrical vehicle. That means I am going to connect a external circuitry arrangement, which is having a load that is nothing but battery. And when I'm applying a particular brake concept, what will happen? So the energy drawing from the battery will be stopped. Okay, but the motor will be keep on tend to rotate only. So if I'm allowing the particular mechanical movement, that is mechanical energy to electrical energy, that the same machine is acting as a generator, I can able to store the power. So now the external force applied to is, so the load, the battery will become load. Instead of energy source, battery will become load. Instead of motor is load, it is becoming as energy sources. It is acting as a generator. So reversible power flow is happening. So automatically a external force here is applied. External force is a load is applied generator to the generator. Automatically what will happen? There is no any further uh, force is available for continuing the rotation because the generation is taken place. So very drastically, very quickly, the motor will be coming to the rest push that is called braking operation. So that concept is taken from here only. So every object in the state of uniform motion tends to remain in that state of motion unless an external force is applied. This very often you will call it as law of inertia also. So very important is second law. Second law is very, very important. The second law is stating that the relationship between object mass m, its acceleration is a. If a relation between object mass is m and its acceleration a, and the applied force F is equal to ma. Applied force F is equal to ma. Acceleration and force are vectors having a direction. Acceleration and force are vectors, okay, as indicated by the symbols using displayed in a slant bold form. In this law, the direction of the force vector is same as the direction of the acceleration vector. So the force and acceleration in the same direction. So if you want to study any vehicle mechanism of the vehicle, so as per the first law, I have to apply an external force. So as per this law, if a vehicle is moving, if a vehicle is moving, if I apply the external force, what will happen? What will happen means the velocity will be altered. Velocity will be reduced. So by that, acceleration will be reduced or increased. If any external force apply, that is preventing the force, okay, that is try to stop the force means automatically acceleration will become down, velocity will be coming down. Okay, if it is allowed to increase the force, automatically acceleration will be increasing. Okay, so that is very important one. That's what here I mentioned that it allows quantitative calculation of dynamics. The second law only because it is given in terms of formula F is equal to ma. It allows a quantitative calculation of dynamics, that is how do velocities change when force are applied. So as per the first law, any external force is applied only unless otherwise external force is applied, it will be in the remain in the same state, whether it's a standstill or in a running condition. So that external force, if I'm applying to a vehicle, a object is moving, what it will cause? It will cause the change in the velocity. That is what very important. How do velocities change when forces are applied? So, okay. And third law of motion is for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is very much going to be used when any resistance for the vehicle. Suppose in the ground we are having a vehicle, we have to move that. So automatically that will offer some resistance for the movement of the vehicle. Okay, because dead weight and load that applied, okay, on the ground where the point is met out. Okay, so when the tire is meeting ground some few points because of the heavy weight, it will meeting at several points. So if the force of the particular one is applied to the ground, equally opposite to that reaction is offered by the ground also. That is also along the line of pressure that is created by the vehicle, it will be acting. So that is what I am going to show it in a diagram. Okay. Yes. Suppose assume that a vehicle. Are you all able to see diagram? Hello.
Yes, sir, we are able to see.
Oh, time's up. Okay, we will see. We will start discussing this one tomorrow. Okay, we'll start as a fresh. I think time, so we have to take attendance. Okay. Okay. Any clarification up to this? Up to this, any clarification? How many are there? 19. Okay, unmute your mic, all of you. Please give attendance. Okay. Magrove,
Yes, sir.
Vasant
Listen,
Kumar,
sir. Yes, sir.
Balachandar,
Yes, sir.
Prem,
Yes, sir.
Naval Architecture,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Steve Thompson, absent. Venu Aravind, Venu Aravind is there.
Sir.
Vignesh, Naval Architecture. Vijay, P. Vijay.
Present, sir.
Yashwant, Vikram Selvaganesh,
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek,
Yes,
Question, sir.
Abhishek,
Hello.
sir. Yes, also present, sir.
Yashwant present.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, Anas Mohammed, Anas. I will check with the data sheet also. Tejas, Vijay,
Yes, sir.
Gogol,
Present, sir.
Dorivaldo, it's not there. Petroleum engineering. Alex,
Yes, sir. Sir.
Gautam,
Yes, sir.
Joy, Josephine, Joy,
Yes, sir.
Kevin,
Yes, sir.
Logesh Babu,
Yes, sir.
Pratap. Pratap is there? Pratap.
Yes, sir.
Pradyush,
Yes, sir.
Vishal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You can leave the. I'll save and I will verify the attendance with the sheet also.
Ah, ah.